welcome to this week's episode of the Angry Geek Show. I am Louis Perry with the lovely...
That Wonder Woman, Jamie Dolan.
And with this week, we have special guests from the Earplug Podcast Network, from The Rant, from Winging It, the one and only Daywalker himself, DW. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? Part 2.
Part 2. Yeah, we had technical difficulties, but we have a lot.
Lewis didn't hit record.
Yes. Hey, if a podcast goes smoothly, then it's not a podcast. Trust me, I've gone longer than now to give our listeners and watchers what happened. We didn't hit record. Lewis didn't hit record for what, maybe 10 minutes. I've gone an hour. and then look down and go. I look down and go, oh shit, oh crap.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Anyway, big moves going on between the Angry Geeks camp and big moves with the Earplug Podcast Network, our home. Jamie and I, we have a deal with Alter Reality Entertainment. We are exclusive, doing all their panels, doing the show only at ARE events. And, of course, we have a new home with the Earplug Podcast Network, brand new studio. Jamie, we're going to make a road trip. We're going to New York. We got to stop by. We're going to have some fun in the new place. The old place is getting bare. Yes, look at the walls in the back.
I know.
It looks awesome, like, just from the pictures.
That's the old studio. That's not
the new pictures I'm talking about.
The new studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in one of the historic buildings in downtown Glens Falls.
It looks like a cool old...
Yeah, it reminds me of actually like the Daily Bugle, nice. Or the Daily Planet. You know, just the Daily Planet, the Daily Bugle. Jeez.
Daily Planet.
I'm thinking the bugles that I used to put on my fingers and eat.
Yes. But just that newsroom type of feel with the glass windows and the wooden doors. Glass windows. What do you mean the glass on the doors? But yeah, it's going to be one main office, which you can see, and I'll put on the Earplug Podcast page as well. And then 3 little fingers will be 3 separate studios. So it'll be Studio A, B, and C. There's some options. We might theme each studio. One's going to be the Star Wars, one's going to be Marvel, one's going to be DC, because if I move
that's ours.
Camera... No, it's not yours.
Yeah, that's the one
we're going in the Star Wars room. Actually, put him in the Marvel room.
No, don't put me in the Marvel room.
Yes.
When we come down to visit, we have to be in the DC room. You're not going to put Wonder Woman. You're not going to put Wonder Woman in the Marvel room.
Oh, well, actually,
you're not going to be Hella.
Yes, I'll pay for that.
You don't even have to. I love doing the makeup, so it's all good.
Probably won't put you in either 3 because the main office will be mine, the big one, but there's also going to be a podcast set up there. So that's going to be the main one. That's going to be the bigger one because each one's like 8 by 14. So one table with 4 people and an engineer. That'll be all that you fit. I mean, we want to put a TV on the wall for monitoring when we do Facebook Live and a webcam and stuff like that. But for like when we try to do the grand opening in August, I mean, people can podcast if they want to go in the separate rooms. But our podcast, we're going to group podcast that night with everybody that stays, and we'll do it in the main room. There'll be couches and whatnot. Tom wants to, Tom DeSico, our videographer. He wants one of the studios to be a gaming room. So I'm like, well, you got the money. You go for it. You want to set up a gaming section and stream? Go for it. You can take one of the studios for that. So
that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
So we'll see what happens.
I was just playing games before I got here.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a little behind the scenes. I've thrown up I don't know how many times in the last 2 weeks. I'm nervous as hell. You know, it's a huge step. I mean, the studio I'm in now will become... our master bedroom, because my girlfriend and her little one's moving in, so the little one gets my bedroom and then we get this one. So I don't know if she'll let me keep any toys in here. We'll have to find out.
It's not going to happen.
No, probably not.
Well, actually, that's not true. That's not true, because in our bedroom. No, in our.
We don't want to know about those toys, Louis. This is not that type of show.
Believe it or not, I have 2 Ultimate Warrior action figures on the wall in mine and Rose's room, and then next to my side of the bed, I got 2 Rocky Balboa action figures and an Apollo Creed action figure, and all my Stitches.
Okay.
Not
lucky
Stitch.
You. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be allowed to. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, not Stitches, but
I know
Stitch.
I know.
So
we're hoping to have a grand opening in August. It's going to be, if people are familiar, our listeners are familiar. It's funny. Ming Chen's got their Shared Universe podcast studio. Ming and I have been talking for a couple years before that even happened. So we've been bouncing ideas off each other. And, you know, with his notoriety, obviously he can, you know, and his comic book men money, he could set up the studio a little bit quicker. So he's got a year jump on me, or 2 years. He's got a 2-year jump on me. No, a year and a half jump on me. So we'll see what happens. And he even said, he's like, I'm coming. So that's pretty cool that he's going to drive 4 hours. He'll probably get a hotel or whatnot and stay overnight. But he said, I'm in. You just tell me when. And so I think that's pretty cool.
Well, we'll be there. I'll be there. Jamie,
yes.
You're going to go?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
All right.
If you guys want to stay, we'll work out. I got to deal with one of the local hotels. If you guys want to just spend the night, it's just easier than driving 2 hours and then staying for 2 and then going home again. You know, if you want to stay.
It'll be 2 hours for me, 3 for.
It's 4 hours for me, probably.
Oh, 4? Okay, so we'll work out.
Well, where is it?
Glens Falls.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Saratoga.
That's a little bit near Albany, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm an hour away from Albany, so.
North?
Yes.
So it'd be closer, so probably about 3 hours.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure out something.
Awesome.
Still not bad. I don't care.
No, not at all. Since I forgot to hit record when we first started, DW, you had a question for Jamie concerning Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh,
Ask
yeah.
her
We were talking about your cosplay being a one-shot. And obviously, we got that.
That's what it was, because we talked about your secret cosplay.
Yes, my secret cosplay.
We talked about a lot.
Let's go back to the secret cosplay, everybody. If you're on Angry Geeks and Lewis's page, he's got these images. So I thought of an idea about how the Earplug and Angry Geeks come together and do a giveaway to get closer to when the unveiling will be. When is it, Lewis?
The unveiling will be during the live Angry Geek show at Rhode Island Comic Con 2019. That's when I'm going to unveil it. It is going to be a one and done thing.
Nah.
It's going to be. It has to be.
It will be.
Yes, it's if it's not, I will continue doing the same type of outfits.
I know that too.
Jamie, you know how I can seal that deal? We'll auction that off at Rhode Island.
Yes.
No. Because only because.
He needs it for his collection after that.
Yes, I do need it. I do need it for my collection.
Oh, is that going to stand at the end of the bed in your bedroom? Good luck.
No. Because you guys know what it is. Yeah. That one thing. What? Poor Rose. All right. The main centerpiece of the cosplay can be used over and over. Now, I don't want to get too much into it because if I do, I may give it away now. But if you really think about it, DW, there is that one part of it that I can use over and over again, which kind of connects to the other things that I use over and over again. Jamie and I, we already talked about it. Remember, that one thing I can always use. So if I
only plan on doing this one time.
But no, only cosplaying this one time. But I could wear this one part of it because
he didn't mention about the nightly role playing with.
Yeah, I think that's.
Wow.
You know, if you really think about it, if you really think about it, no, there's one part of the cosplay that I can actually do and make different variations of it that I can wear all the time.
Okay.
Great. But let's keep it going, and then
don't take the resident Angry Geek cosplayer. Don't take the mantle away from Jamie.
Not at all. Not at all. That's why I'm saying it's funny when I mentioned Jamie and I talk daily, and I said to her it's a one and done thing. Jamie, what happened when I said that?
A car drove by. I have photographic evidence. He said one and done, and the license plate on this car was one and done.
No way, really?
The second he said it, I had to take a picture.
No way, that's too funny.
I was like, whoa. But see, Lou and I have this weird parallel life thing that happens, and our lives are like mirror images every day.
So you're going to be a male Wonder Woman, Lewis?
Oh, no.
Oh, crap, I told everybody.
Wait, hold on. What?
You should do that.
No, I should not do that.
Yes.
No. It's funny. Jamie and I could be the real life Zan and Jaina, the Wonder Twins, because our lives are parallel. I would say something to her, and immediately it's like, "Oh my God, the same thing happened to me today." Or
the oil change thing.
the oil change thing. I'm pulling in to go to oil change, and she goes, "You can call." I have a weird work schedule. Everyone knows I get out of work 10 a.m. on a Friday. I'm pulling in to get an oil change. I'm texting her. She goes, "You can call me. I'm getting an oil change right when I'm pulling into the garage to get my oil change."
I don't know if you can see it. That.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Oh,
Yep,
yes.
one and done.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
It's weird. Lives are parallel.
I may or may not have been driving when I took that picture.
Oops, we don't know nothing about that. But we were talking about the one and done, but with Jamie being Wonder Woman, and talking about hers, I wanted to know what she thought. DC and Warner Brothers just released the first teaser poster of Wonder Woman 1984, and wanted to get your thoughts on the new armor.
Yes, which I said. I think it's a rendition of her golden armor. It'd be cool if it did get the wings. It has an Atlantean feel to it. Now, if you look at those legs.
Yeah, it's fishnet stockings. No.
Yeah.
No.
And even the arms, look at the shoulders, but it's very, very, very similar to Mira's armor. I think that because she was banned from coming back to Themyscira in the Wonder Woman, the original movie, when she left with Steve, that something happens to her armor that she's been wearing during this movie, and the Atlanteans help her create this new armor.
That'll be a nice twist. That'd be cool. That'll be a nice twist to see Atlantis in there again. Wonder if I wonder if they will make Aquaman as a cameo, or would it just be Mira? I wonder. That'll be interesting because Momoa is not cheap. Not that Gal Gadot is. No. I think obviously Gal Gadot is a lot more expensive than Momoa. But
that won't work because if you look at Aquaman's timeline, he was still a kid in the 80s. So maybe it's going to be Volvo. Maybe it's going to be somebody else. Because this movie
it could be an elder.
Yeah,
because we don't know because I don't think that entire movie is based in 1984 though. Isn't there some timeline changes in this movie?
I'm not sure. It's called Wonder Woman 84 for a reason, so I'm going to assume that it's 84.
I'm still very curious about how Steve winds up back alive.
Yeah.
Well, think about it.
I really wonder how that whole thing even.
Well, we know when characters die in comics, they don't stay dead. So.
But listen, in the Linda Carter Wonder Woman, Steve Trevor did die. They came back in the 80s for season 2, and it was not the Steve Trevor. It was his great grandson. Maybe they're going to do the same thing.
Oh, maybe.
With the same
they might do the same. They might take a page out of that show.
Maybe.
Yeah. It was Lyle Wagner. He was there, and then he came back as the grandson. So maybe that's going to be. Now, let me put my 2 cents in about that poster. That looks very much like David Finch's New 52 version of Wonder Woman's armor, because they changed her costume. Yeah. They went from the Jim Lee with the long pants and a leather jacket to the traditional Wonder Woman, and then they gave her armor, which kind of looks like what we're seeing in that poster.
Wasn't there another rendition in between with the black leather pants, the spandex shorts, like the long shorts?
Yeah, that was in volume 2 after John Byrne's version. Yeah. She was wearing like the biker shorts with the jacket. That was back then. It seems like a lot of the DC cinematic universe is based on the New 52, which is, when the movies were written, that's when the books were out. So I get that, totally get that. Same thing with the animated movies. But
I think that's also what a lot of these newer generations relate to.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. The New 52 started 7 years ago now, Louis?
Yeah, about 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah.
And that might be their way to try to draw these younger.
Could be. And that's when I got back into comics. I think because I was out of comics for like 4 or 5 years. We started Fanboys Inc., our original network with the Inkcast, and I started buying books. And I think I was 6 months into it because my first issue I bought was Green Lantern number 6. I think Batman number 6. Earth 2, which our good friend Andy Smith, who you just had on last week,
great guy,
drew many issues. I don't know how many issues on that run he did, but he did some great work there. So they were 6 months into that. So what was funny was too, those books were hot. So even Batman number 1 now is really dirt cheap that he came back the first year. it was hard to get Batman #1. I mean, you're going to pay some top dollars for it now, and I ended up getting one signed by Scott Snyder. But it was, for me, being out of it for like 4 or 5 years, it kind of made me feel like a little kid again. As Jamie's saying, it was that new introduction to characters where people would, and I've always felt weird about this, or positive and negative, with Marvel redoing all their numbers again. DC, I liked how it was for me personally because, wow, I can jump on. I'm only 6 months behind. Even if I can't get a floppy, I can't get a single issue, I know I can get a trade of the first 6 months of Batman. So that's still inexpensive for me to get. And I don't feel like I got, oh, I'm in issue 400. What happened 100 issues ago? So then you got to start spending all this money to get back. But again, New 52 is over. All the numbers have changed again, and it's all starting over again.
Except for action.
I'm not. I don't know how I feel about it still as a collector. I mean, I don't collect as many as I do or used to, but with Marvel going back to their legendary numbering or whatever they call it, they went back to like Spider-Man 701 and whatever. Going, I don't know if I like that either. I think sometimes it gets confusing, and we hear comic book store owners going, the movies are great, but they don't do anything for us. They don't generate enough money for us. You might get them for that graphic novel. You might get them for, hey, Dad, let's go, and it's Captain America. Has nothing to do with the movie. The Avengers that are there aren't even the Avengers in the movie anymore. So they'll buy a couple books, and then they're done because they expect to see something that's based off the movie. And I find that, I don't know. I feel sometimes the companies forget about the books or forget about the store owners,
I totally agree. Yeah. I call the movie fans fair weather fans. They are just stuck watching the films. They're learning about the characters through what they see on the silver screen. They don't go back, like people who watched Shazam. They didn't go back. A lot of them didn't even know that there was a Shazam television show back in the 70s.
Right.
When Titans came out, and when
a lot of them probably weren't around then though either.
Yeah, I know. I understand
they don't even
that.
think to look back. They only know these new movies.
No,
my kid and his girlfriend. Other than my kid knowing, I can't use him in this example, but his girlfriend and their friends that they go and see these movies as soon as they come out have no idea. They don't have a clue. They just know the movies.
Well, do we think it's the fan? Is it? I don't know if I would call them fair weather fans, or it's the generation of I don't want to read a book.
Well, it could be that too.
It might not even be the book that's giving them the accessibility to the books. I don't think school libraries even have comic books in them.
No, I don't think they never have.
They probably should.
Well, the library in Wilbraham, Massachusetts has graphic novels.
Well, that's an actual library. It's not a school.
Oh, not a school library.
Yeah. Like even if they had, I have the Wonder Woman one that's so many.
The compendium. Yeah.
But even if they had something like that, so that they could.
We had a guest from another podcast, which I'm not going to say any names, because I love these guys. I respect them. The guys are around our age, DW, all three of our ages. Yeah. And we were talking about Teen Titans Go. He was saying something else, and he goes, "Oh my God, it's not like the original Teen Titans cartoon, yada, yada, yada." And I'm like, "Are you talking about the Filmation one?" And he looked at me, and he goes, "What Filmation one?" This. And he's like, I didn't know that existed. I'm like, well, you're our age. How do you not know that this existed? Because it's out there on DVD. It's out there everywhere. And I'm like, so don't complain about this if you never saw this.
Right.
Totally different.
What if he doesn't know it exists?
I mean,
he does now. I schooled him.
Well, you are very you're a hardcore fan. I get that, and I am in my certain areas as well. But I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more forgiving in certain aspects than you are. Maybe
I think both of us are more forgiving.
That's the name, Angry Geeks. Okay.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, for the fair weather fan, let's keep them calling them that because that's the moviegoer that you have established. I don't think Marvel gives two craps. I think look at the amount of money they're generating from that. That's why I feel that they're not. Comic books are now secondary. I think it's just there. Obviously, they don't want to lose money. They want to make money. But like you're saying with DC, the DC movie universe is trying to, I think, do their movie versions of New 52. It's a little bit darker, a little bit more serious stories, not as campy as some of the other stories in previous DC. Marvel's just taking stuff from the 70s and 80s. They haven't even touched some beginning of the 90s. They haven't touched anything since after when Image came out. All their storylines are pre that. Age of Ultron is not a new story.
No, not at all.
Thanos isn't a new story. They're bringing in the Eternals. They're bringing in some Celestials. We're talking old school stuff. We're not talking anything new. So they don't need to take any stories. They can go for another 15, 20 years like they did on, between first three phases and not have to worry about anything. So now I feel that, oh, well, the books are doing mediocre. We are a comic book company. We're going to throw some spaghetti in the wall, see what sticks, and we'll see what happens.
Well, do you think that's why there was rumors a few months ago that Marvel was going to pull all their comics, stop publishing?
I don't think that'll ever happen per se. I think that, just like the New 52, we've talked to Ron Mars a few times about this, where they literally had 52 titles. So you're looking at going, what? I'm not buying 52 titles a month. I was almost doing 25 a month, and that's pretty pricey at $3.99.
Oh yeah.
So,
but yet their whole campaign was $2.99, drawing the line.
Yeah.
Okay, and all of a sudden Batman was $5.
Yeah.
Certain books were $5. I'm like, what the hell?
So, the initial fan reaction was being, oh my God, I can't afford this. What are they doing? I think for them that was kind of a smart thing. As a business standpoint, we have our Batman. We're gonna do our 3 Batman books. We're gonna do our 3 Superman books. We'll do 2 Green Lanterns. We're gonna do another Earth 2, and then throw out all these other ones, see what sticks, and then pull everything back. And I think that was kind of smart on their part because one, it was new. New 52, really, their marketing campaign I think was better than any Marvel marketing campaign as far as I'm concerned, as far as the comic books are concerned.
Agreed.
And they did great. The other issues lasted maybe, I think, 6 months tops. I don't think anything lasted much longer than that. I think maybe Earth 2 did last a little bit longer than that, and then they were done. Because I think...
Yeah, All-Star Western went up, I think, to issue 10, then it stopped. But Swamp Thing stopped, started again, which was bizarre.
Well, we can talk about that, too.
I want to talk about the Swamp Thing TV show.
Marvel, how many X-Men books do we need? And they keep them going and going and going and going. Those aren't just let's see if it works. It's like they're like that friend who you can sit there and tell him he's wrong and prove that he's wrong, but he's gonna say he's right just to be spiteful until it cut his nose off his face. And that's what Marvel is. We're gonna still put these books out and we're gonna still be making money. We're gonna do it until they lose money.
Wow, it's art imitating life right there. Holy cow. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Before we start to wrap up, quick question. Robert Pattinson as Batman. I'm digging it. I like the idea. You got to go back and think. And I called out a few people when they started bashing. When Michael Keaton was announced as Batman back in '87, we did not have DW shaking his head at me. We did not have the internet, but there was people writing to newspapers, writing to magazines, complaining about not having Mr. Mom or Beetlejuice as Batman. If we go now, flash forward to 2003 when they were making Batman Begins and they announced I know he's still shaking his head when they announced Christian Bale as being Batman. People and DW took off his headphones. They said they did not want a newsy kid as Batman, and we all know what had happened with Ben Affleck as Batman. I say give the guy a chance. Let's see what he can do.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's Angry Geek Show.
Think about this. Yeah, the DW, seriously, think about this. Bruce Wayne is supposed to be a pretty boy. Robert Pattinson is a pretty boy. Let's give him a shot.
I don't think he's a pretty boy.
Okay, look, Henry Cavill was not
I
that
really
big.
want. I really want to say some non-PC things right now, but I can't.
It has nothing to do with Twilight. No, that's what he's known for. He's a vampire wizard from Harry Potter, but he was in other movies. I say let's give him a shot.
I joke with you. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'll tell you that. I mean, I know everybody deserves a chance. I don't know. I posted out a meme that went viral pretty quick. Right when it came out, it was a picture of him, Keaton, and old Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond.
Oh, that would be incredible.
And that went nuts. Now, technically, he's a little too old to be Terry, but I think that would be kind of neat. That is a movie that I would wish they would make. I mean, Keaton would be perfect for that, or Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood might be a little too old. He can't move around much, but
neither could old man Bruce Wayne.
No, but as far as Patterson, I'm not a fan. I've told people that I'll save my real judgment when I start seeing some screenshots or maybe some video. But initial reactions, no, I'm not really.
Well, how did you feel?
I mean, I didn't care for him in Twilight. I mean, the movies were as it was, but I don't think he was the best actor in there. I mean, yes, he's done other things. I mean, you can sit here and you can throw crap about Keaton. You can throw crap about Affleck. But
Affleck was the best Batman for me.
We
argued.
Yeah, I get crap for it all the time because I love Affleck as the Batman. I think he even made it. I think if he was maybe 10 years older, he would the way he's built, he would be the perfect old Bruce Wayne for Batman Beyond. I'm not really sure. Now,
Michael Keaton is doing a bunch of interviews, and he keeps saying he is Batman.
Yeah.
He did a thing where he was at a college
I don't think he officially is. I think he's pulling a Vin Diesel or The Rock. Vin kept telling Marvel that he wanted to be in Marvel. He pretty much walked himself in that office and said, "I'm going to be in one of these movies."
His voices.
He did viral campaigns. He didn't even talk to Marvel first. He goes, "I'm going to be in a Marvel movie. Oh, you want me? I'm going to be in a Marvel." That could be what Keaton's doing. I mean,
maybe he wants that Batman Beyond, which would shatter box office records.
I don't know.
Really?
As you call fair weather fans, Batman Beyond does have a following, but even some of the hardcore comic book people don't know really who he is because he first started out as a cartoon. So, and I love the cartoon. I just haven't followed the comic book as much, just because I mean, my wallet's only so big, So, but I pick a couple issues up here and there, and if the storyline's good, then I'll go back 3 issues, to get the beginning of the storyline. But I don't know if most of the time it's the general audience, and I think really quick why we don't get the comic book movies that we want is because it doesn't test well with the general audience, and that's why costumes are changed. That's why storylines turn a little campy. That's why dialogue has changed, because they want to make their money. So people bitching and complaining about having a real comic book movie, you're not going to get it, because yes, our demographic is growing and growing, and we're not the little minority like we used to be, but we're still not the major ticket holders. We're never.
You got to look at it this way. Before we wrap up, look at Batman and Robin. They tried that. It failed miserably.
Well, that was Schumacher destroying that franchise for 11 years.
Yes. It
I'll
was,
be
but
back.
still.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. All right. Now, Jamie, what did you think about Robert Pattinson?
I'm with DW.
And with that, thank you for listening to the Earplug podcast version of the Angry Geek Show. I am Louis Perry.
I am DW.
Oh, he's DW. And I'm Jamie.
Tune in next week and join us. And DW, you're going to be back with us next week?
If you have me back, yeah, I'd love to.
All right. I guess tune in next week right here on the Earplug Podcast Network. Same Angry Geeks time, same Angry Geeks channel. We are out.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.